Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be checking out the KZ BA10s. Also going to have a chat about which model is the best up to date, which one is my favourite. But for now, let's check out these BA10s. Hey guys, so BA10s stands for 10 drivers, 5 in each earbud. There's been a few models like this. The first ones that we saw were the KZ ZS10s. They had 4 balanced armature drivers and 1 dynamic driver in each earbud. Then they brought out the AS10s, which had 5 balanced armature drivers in each earbud. Now we have the BA10s, again 5 balanced armature drivers in each earbud. Looking online, both the AS10 and BA10 seem to have a similar allocation of drivers in terms of highs, mids and lows. So the biggest difference, just looking online and appearance, is the housing. The AS10 has a plastic housing and the new BA10s have an all metal housing. The fit of these have a strange design if you ask me. When you think about the shape of your ear, you don't think of a metal square box to fit in your ear, but they actually fit reasonably well. They're a fairly light earbud, so you don't really feel them. I wish they would put a little bit more money into the ear tips. Again, like the AS10, they're putting money into little things like this. Just put a few extra ear tips in there, something that seals a little bit better, makes them sound better, but overall, not a bad fit. They're not super comfortable, but they're not bad. So how do these BA10s sound to me? I feel like the metal housings give off a cool sound. The vocals are really nice and sharp and detailed. The bass is okay, but they are a very bright earbud. The highs are too harsh for me. I didn't really enjoy listening to these. Similar to the ZS10s, ZSRs, ZS5s, ZSAs, all these I found were too harsh for me. Everyone hears differently. Everyone has a different preference. It wasn't until a while back when I tried a new headphone that came out, the Neurophones. These actually tune the sound to your ear, and everyone that tried these, all my friends and family that tried these, it sets up a profile for them and you can flick through them and everyone sounds completely different and everyone believed that theirs sounded the best. So it really proved to me that everyone hears differently. So if you did like the ZS10, ZS5, ZSRs, all the other brighter KZ earbuds, you might enjoy these, but personally I don't recommend the new BA10s. Too bright, too harsh, and I just really didn't enjoy listening to them. As soon as I swapped over to some of the other ones that I prefer, you could really tell the difference. Some people do recommend with the ZSTs and ZS5s and those sort of earbuds, changing cables, changing ear tips, using an equalizer, and you can soften those highs. But just trying them, how they come out of the box, personally, I don't recommend the BA10s. I'm not a professional audiophile. I prefer to compare the different models. There's so many different KZ models. I like to make videos comparing the differences within the different models so that you can make a decision. Like I said, everyone hears differently. Everyone likes a different sound. So if you like similar ones to me, you'll probably have a similar overall impression of these earbuds. I'll put up above all the ones that I've tried heaps of different KZs. I haven't tried the ZS6s. Everyone asks about the ZS6s. I heard that they sounded similar to the ZS5s and I personally didn't like them. Again, similar to the BA10s we just looked at, too harsh for me, too bright, so I didn't buy the ZS6s. But if you take away all the ones that I don't recommend, the best ones in my opinion are the ZS10s, the ZS3s, the ES4s. I didn't mind the ATEs. The AS10s were good. So they're my top KZ recommendations. Comparing the ZS10s with the ZSAs, the ZSAs I feel are a little bit brighter with their highs, a little bit more harsh. They're sort of on the edge, being too harsh for me, too bright for me. The bass of the AS10s is pretty good. They do have a fair bit of bass, but they do lose a little bit in the real low end. The sub bass, they don't have a lot. Personally, I prefer the ZS10s. They're not too bright for me. The highs are a lot nicer. They have a little bit more separation and a wider sound stage. The AS10s still have a good sound stage, but the ZS10's just on the next level. And that low end bass just seems a lot nicer, a lot deeper, and I just prefer the ZS10s over the ZSAs. One of the other favorites that I reviewed recently is the ES4. The ES4 is probably a little bit bassier again than the ZS10. The highs are at a similar spot to the ZS10, maybe a tiny little bit higher. But because of that bass, they give a really full sound, really nice sound, not as much separation and not as wide sound stage as the ZS10s. Personally, again, I prefer the ZS10s over the ES4s, a wider sound stage, more definition, a lot more separation, but I do recommend the ES4s, a similar sort of sound for about a quarter of the price. So if you're looking for an earbud and you don't want to spend as much as the ZS10s, you'll get a similar sound with the ES4s for about a quarter of the price. One of the other KZs that I've been recommending to a lot of people for a long time now is the ZS3s. I really love the sound of the ZS3s. They don't have as wide sound stage, as much separation as some of the others, but they give a really full sound. They're really bassy, really warm sounding, a little bit similar to the ATEs. If you like the ATEs, you'll probably like these. Really nice sound. I love using these for exercise. If you want to hook them to the Bluetooth cable, I just really like the ZS3s and I always recommend them. So that gives you a few to choose from. If I was going to give my top and I had to pick one, I would probably go for the ZS10s. But if you're looking for a really warm, bassy, well-rounded sound, the KZ is a really good budget IAM. If you're looking for something with a little bit more separation, wider sound stage, a little bit more detail, the ES4s are another great budget earbud. But like I said, my top pick would be the ZS10s. I hope this video was helpful. If you have more questions, comment down below. Again, if I wasn't really clear on anything, make sure you ask down below and I'll try to get back to you. I'm not a professional audiophile, but I have a lot of the different models of the KZs, so if you have any questions comparing the different models, make sure you comment. I'll try to get back and answer it as best as I can. Also, at the end of this video, I'll put up a few of the different models comparing size between the new BA10 and the other models. If you're liking these videos, make sure you subscribe, click the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.